Hmm. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel again, KPX. And today we have an interesting topic. I'm Adam, and that's
Casino.
hello, my friend Casino. So anyway, we have an interesting topic to talk about, Casino. Do you wanna? What are we talking about?
Yeah, so on the show today we have games but no fun, and that's because Helldivers 2, which is one of the most surprising games of this year.
Mhm.
If you played Helldivers 1, you knew it was going to be good, but it suffered a lot in many different ways. First, because it was too popular, and the game couldn't handle it. And now, because consumers feel misled. The main reason for this being that PlayStation basically backed the production of Helldivers 2. It is a Sony exclusive that is also out on PC, which is a Sony trend now, but it simultaneously came out on PC, which is not the norm for them.
Oh,
Now, Sony claims that they've said this was always going to be the case, but the big controversy here is they're requiring Steam players of Helldivers 2 to link a PlayStation Network account to be able to play the game.
mm.
This push will start in May 30th. It will end on June 15th, where I believe everyone will need to have a linked account in order to continue playing Helldivers 2. This has caused massive outrage. One, because we're going to be honest here, the reason this is happening is so Sony can inflate subscribers for their share price.
Sony would never.
Obviously, Sony wants this information for themselves because data is king. But also, apparently, and something I didn't even think of until this became the outrage, and I'm sure Stylos' video here will touch on it as we react, is there are a lot of places in the world where you can't legally have a Sony account. And how does this game operate then inside of those countries? And the people in those countries or in those regions that already bought this game, which are well past Steam's 2-hour refund policy, where does that leave them? So obviously, we could see at the first thing of the video that here you haven't pressed play yet, but this is the past 24 hours for Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 was a unanimously praised game that was in the mostly positives, I believe, at the very least on Steam up until this, and is now mixed overall and has like over 100K negative reviews in the past 24 hours.
So this is not looking good. Then there's a lot of red now, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot of red.
That's a lot of red. Okay, I'm just not imagining. All right, so let's go and get into the video and let's just see what they say.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
As the community have absolutely hit back over this insane PSN requirement. Now, there have been developments here, guys, and it looks like Arrowhead are trying their best here to potentially reverse some of this. However, they need to reverse the entire thing because I'll be honest, this is just absolutely insane. Can you imagine?
That's
playing
interesting
the game,
news.
playing
That's
the
new to
game
me.
For over
So wait, so Arrowhead's reversing? Arrowhead is are they the developer? What is?
Apparently, they're trying to. My guess is it's lip service. I don't know if they can unless Sony okays it.
I mean, their boss or their hierarchy is Sony is above them, right? They were gonna call more shots, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. You're right. Lip service. All right, start again.
over 3 months and then being told, actually, you can't play this game any longer unless you make a PSN account. And then you happen to be in a region or in a country where you can't even legally make a PSN account. So therefore, you cannot play the game. Actually insane. But what I will say is the community reaction to this has been absolutely poetic. It has been awesome. It has been super. You know, we've effectively been trained as a community to go after goals together, complete the major order, attack this planet, defend this planet, do this, do that. Now, we're actually using that community against this horrific decision. All Helldivers are Helldivers, and everybody should be able to play this game.
Oh,
In what
Spitz
world
is
does Sony
insufferable.
think this is a good idea?
Wait, what?
Spitz is another entire video.
Spitz? What the?
The community manager for Helldivers 2.
Oh, man. Okay, there's layers to this. Okay. We'll get to that. Let's see.
To just remove massive swathes of the player base. It is actually frigging insane. Let's break this down, though, because there have been developments. The world-famous community manager, Spitz, has dropped this bombshell in Discord today. Internal discussions are ongoing about the mandatory linking change, and while I can't reveal details, the response from our dev teams has been pretty universally negative, and we're looking for better options. So the first thing there is we've got an official response from an Arrowhead official saying the devs, the studio, do not like this, they do not want this, and they are looking at ways to try and alleviate this. But what and how will those ways manifest? Spitz then goes on to say, if a better solution isn't provided for players who are in regions without PSN coverage, I'm assured that we won't be making the requirement mandatory for those players. We're not going to force people to either break Sony terms of service or not play the game. Now, this is a statement that could be the statement that gets rid of the PSN requirement completely on Steam. You cannot have this both ways. You cannot simply say,
like it is right now.
So if you're in a region that doesn't have PSN
it is optional
legally, you won't
right
need
now.
it. You can just
Yeah, so it's optional. It is. Okay.
just carry on playing on Steam. Because then the entire argument from Arrowhead and I guess from by proxy from Sony was that, oh, wait, we need your PSN and Steam accounts linked so we can ban you on Steam if you've been a naughty little boy. Well, that doesn't hold any water, does it, if they're just going to go, oh, by the way, it doesn't matter if you don't have PSN in your region, you can just use Steam. Then you need to let everyone use Steam. Then guess what you need to do, Arrowhead? It needs to be optional, doesn't it, if you want to link your PSN account? That's just the end of the story. That is actually the end of the story. So this can only really end in one way. They need to remove the PSN.
They forgot about archived web pages there, huh?
Things get murky though, because check this out. This is over on the PSN page for Helldivers 2, and it says, do I have to sign into PSN to play a PlayStation game on PC? Signing into PSN is optional when playing a PlayStation game on PC. And then, this was changed. Sony were caught in the act. Look at this. Do I have to sign into PSN to play a PlayStation game on PC? Some PlayStation games may require you to sign in and link to an account for PSN. So what are they going from here? It's optional, it's not optional, it's a requirement. This is just horrible. Here is a list of all of the regions and countries where you cannot make a PSN.
Whoa. Afghanistan, Albania. Well, I'm not going to read all of them, but Azerbaijan, Lithuania, Egypt, Samoa.
There's a lot of people in that list. I think
That's,
that's the TLDR.
I thought it was, wow, I didn't think it'd be this long. That's a lot of, wow.
Yep.
Ethiopia, Mauritania, I don't even know half these. Okay. All right. Dang. All right, let me continue.
I'm not going to read this off. I'll be here all day if I did it. This is millions of players. This is insane. This is actually insane. This has to be one of the worst fumbles in games I've seen for ages. And what is it with games that I end up liking? And massive fumbles. What's going on? The world hates me. Spitz then comes back and talks about players and what we can actually do to help the devs. And this, again, is an amazing comment. Look at this. Players making their displeasure known through reviews and refunds, etc., gives us more pull in the discussions with Sony. They don't read our Discord. It hurts to see the game's popularity suffer in ratings, but discussions are ongoing, and our team is on the side of the players in this fight. It's unrealistic to expect people to make PSN accounts in different regions to get past the account linking requirement. We're aware of that. Discussions are ongoing. Now, this is interesting, isn't it? Because this, you've got a community manager straight up saying, look, if you refund the game and leave negative reviews, it gives us more pull. We can then go to Sony and go, you absolute bastard, you're destroying this game that we've built. That is like a once-in-a-generation hit. You need to just get rid of this requirement now. We need to start repairing the damage ASAP. That's what the devs are saying. It has to be what the devs are saying. This is insane. It's actually insane to get this much detail between what's going on with all this corpo bollocks in the background. It's just insane. Spitz also talks about the reaction they had yesterday to some of the comments. I covered them in videos, and I did actually say in my videos, you have to remember that community managers, I mean, it's not right what was said, but the community managers are like the front line, and they just get hit with everything, and they're almost, you know, I like to give them the benefit of the doubt a lot of the time, because in some ways I see it similar to like positions I've been in the past, where you're not really designed as a human to interact with hundreds of thousands, millions of people who are wanting to talk to you, send messages through. You just can't do that, you know. And even you might get thousands of positive comments, you get a negative comment, and it does tip you over the edge sometimes. And I guess we're only human in that way. Anyway, Spitz says this. Yeah, I was completely unaware how many countries didn't have the ability to make a PSN account when I made that statement. I deeply regret implying
Maybe
that
that's
it's so
something
easy
you
for
should have
everyone
been
to sign
aware
up
of.
and not have to worry about it. It's absolutely not our
I don't. So wait, Spitz he's from Arrowhead, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Community manager on the Discord.
So he's an official employee of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's done. Okay, so he should have access to this. He should have known all this, right? Like, okay.
intention to force people to break Sony terms of service or just not play the game if they're in a restricted region. There needs to be a better solution. So, yeah, fair enough. And again, just to illustrate, this is not coming from Arrowhead. Arrowhead didn't just wake up in the morning and go, oh, yeah, let's just turn PSN on and force it for everybody. Spitz says that change, the Steam announcement and the FAQ are all coming from Sony and not from our team at Arrowhead. And this is an issue, isn't it? Because it shows you, once again...
Wild, by the way,
gaming
and the
publishers
internal
piss all
politics that have
over.
to be happening between these two companies for that to actually be said out loud.
Wow. Okay, yeah. Discord there, definitely Discord.
Goodwill, their studios are building up with stupid, insane decisions that they don't care about. They actually don't give a shit. This is something, and I said this in my video yesterday. This is something which is just like, it's never going to happen, right? PSN is just going to be forced on us, and that's the end of the story. Because that's the way these things always go. But it doesn't have to be like that, does it? And we're seeing now a game that is built on rallying a community to go to one objective and deal with the objective. It's almost become ultra super meta. It's outside of the game. It is everyone rallying together to try and get this stupid requirement removed because we want Helldivers in regions of the world who do not and cannot make a PSN account to be able to play the game. But once you get rid of the requirement for them, you have to get rid of the requirement for everybody, and it then needs to become optional. This whole bullshit about, oh yeah, it's to help us ban players, is complete, absolute bollocks. And I'll say it time and time and time again. The only reason Sony want a PSN account to be made is because a game they are publishing has suddenly exploded with millions and millions of potential new customers that don't have PSN accounts. Sony wants you to make a PSN account so it can add you to its quarterly reports, so it can add you to potentially becoming a customer. That is the only reason. Anyone telling you that that's not the reason is frigging mental, and they're sipping on some insane Sony Kool-Aid. I'm going to say this at the end of the video because it just needs to be said. Fuck the publishers, honestly. All of them are arseholes. They all just want to do whatever they can do to make
This
as much
fuck
money
the
as
publisher
possible.
sentiment
It
is interesting
shit.
because
We don't
Baldur's
want
Gate
this.
3
The
reeks of
community
this
is
too.
fighting back against this.
Except
This
it's
is
the
an ongoing
developers of Baldur's
development
Gate 3 that came out and said
story.
fuck
Let's see
publishers
where
and
this
then said they're
goes.
not doing any more D&D.
But I
Full
am
stop.
slightly more hopeful than I was yesterday.
They
that
will
we
not
might
make
see this change
expansions. They will
removed.
not make
The only
DLC.
way
They
Arrowhead
will
can
nothing to do with
repair the
Baldur's
damage
Gate
from
4.
this is to
They're
just
done
come
with
out and
D&D.
say, this has been removed. It is gone. It is no longer part of it. Sony have given the go-ahead because they don't want Goodwill to be eroded away from what could be the start of a brand new franchise gaining a ton of traction, because that's what it feels like at the moment. I got a horrible taste in my mouth, and I don't want to play Helldivers. It's horrible. All right, guys, thank you for watching the video. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys.
All right. So thank you.
All right, cheers for that, Stylosa.
Yeah,
Did a good
great.
job.
That was nice. So
Nice video too. Yeah, some pretty good gameplay. If that was yours, fair play.
well, yeah. I'm a little just confused. What the hell? Like, so Sony doesn't care when it was launched at all. They didn't like.
Well,
Well,
Sony thought this was going to be a smaller game than it was. Everyone did, to be candid.
Right.
Everyone did.
So everyone out there, I
I
played Helldivers
did.
1. Yeah.
Helldivers 1 is a very niche game that looks nothing like this.
Yeah,
Right? You've played it.
Yeah. So just letting everyone know. Yeah. Okay. So I probably can't blame Sony that much. Like, they probably did not expect this kind of response. So
No, but they also gave a budget to make a completely different game. They could have just reskinned Isometric Helldivers 1
Right.
and just gone with that. But the budget to make Helldivers 2 was substantially higher than it was 1. They were obviously expecting a bigger return than Helldivers 1 would have made, or Helldivers 1.2 as Helldivers 2 would have made.
yeah.
They did not expect what happened. This was an accidental success. This is the Christopher Columbus story of Sony. This game.
Yeah. Right now. Yeah. Sure. I mean, but they okayed budget. They okayed everything, and they're gonna market it and stuff like that. But then you're just like, well, we still don't expect much from it, and then now they're like, all right, we gotta mine this data. Like we gotta mine this.
We need this data. We need our shareholders to see how many people are playing a Sony game. We need, these are all potential customers that we'll be selling microtransactions to. Maybe also part of it is, I don't know. So if I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. Maybe Sony wants to be in charge of the microtransactions, not have them go through Steam.
That's true. That is true. So,
and that could be a long play here as well.
Yeah, gotcha. Wait, so just remind me, this is on every platform or?
It is only on PC and PS5.
Okay, PC, PS5. It's not on the Xbox. Okay, whatever. Okay.
No, correct.
Okay.
And that's a video for another time where it's the Xbox is a completely irrelevant console. They did that to themselves.
Well,
so
they don't care. They make money either way. Well, anyway, yeah, that's in our topic.
Exactly.
So just went back on it. So Sony, my gut reaction is it makes Sony look incompetent. They already are an incompetent company. Like that's
yep, 1,000%.
That's a topic. That's a whole topic in itself. But Sony is a very incompetent company. So like this is just more egg on face, right? Like this is just like they're just
this is. Yeah, I think, to be quite honest, the arrogance of Sony here is probably something akin to this is not a single player, story-driven game. That's what we make. That's what we sponsor. That's what makes us money. We're going to live and die by that. We don't need to actually have console sales. We don't need to have a functioning internet service. We don't need to have a UI on our console that's usable or nice to look at in the slightest. But we're going to make single-player games, and, we'll throw a bone to Arrowhead here, and they can make Helldivers 2. Oh, shit, the bone is massive. It created the best thing that's happened to us in a long time. How do we make up the fact that we didn't farm this early enough?
Right, we're not monetizing.
Right.
Yeah. I wish I can defend Sony here, but I just can't. This is just I can't believe they would go to be just like. Is underhanded the right word, or just I don't know? Maybe just being that much arrogant. Just like they kind of call.
I get where. I think where Sony is getting this from is there's a lot of publishers that are really shitty in their interactions with Steam, right?
Okay.
Ubisoft makes you log into Ubisoft Connect to launch an Ubisoft game through any other service. So does EA. Right? When you play 2042 or any other EA game, it launches EA Play, a service no one wanted. I don't know why it exists. Yeah. EA, it is so poorly coded, you didn't want to code it. That part is obvious. But they wouldn't be the first publisher to do this, but all the other ones made a launcher. Maybe they have more regional access than Sony does. I don't really know the answer to that question. But it gets a lot more complex here when Sony is also a console maker, not just a game publisher.
Right. Oh man, I mean, I can harp on Sony like more like that, but like, what do you else have to say about Sony? Like, it's just. So
this has to be reversed, otherwise the game fails.
Yeah, I mean, how could you lock out like the audience, like your own? I don't get that part. Like.
Mm-hmm. And this is an audience that's put up with a lot to play this game. For the first 2 weeks, this game was less playable than Star Citizen. And people stuck with the game.
Yeah.
And this will alienate those people who stuck even when you couldn't even log in.
Yeah, okay.
Because when this game came out, it didn't even have a queue.
Oh.
You had to spam log in over and over again and hope that you pressed it as somebody logged out.
Oh, man. Okay. All right, so some development hell and then some post-launch hell. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about this? Because I'm just still flabbergasted by this. Like, this is just. I thought this would be like a simple decision. Like, all right, let's just keep reaping the benefits of this and stuff like that. And like, why would you introduce something like just you're destroying like your fan base? Like,
AAA games don't get the success that this very AA game has gotten.
Yeah, of course.
And to squander it by trying to make a few extra pennies on it is just the most ridiculous thing you could do. And I think that's the point we have to leave with here. Sony, reverse this. You're going to reverse this. If you don't reverse this,
yeah. Oh,
I don't know. This is going to end up worse than your TV business, which has been failing for a long time.
I mean, Sony's businesses are just not great in general. We all know this. they are reassuring their stockholders that they are trying to, make more money. Like really, like we're gonna make more money, guys. No worry. We're gonna release everything for not just PlayStation. We're gonna have everything eventually released for PC and stuff like that. I'm like, I mean, that I never thought they would reverse that, but here we are. Like, I thought they'd always be like that, very adamant about, oh, it's only Sony, it's only PlayStation, but like, and they said it in their shareholders meeting. I just love that. They're just like, well, yeah, we understand. Like, more money is coming.
Yeah, well, I guess there comes a point where you can't avoid the conversation anymore, right? And they got to that point. I don't think anyone was expecting Sony's earnings calls to ever sound like a tech startup that people value, even though they don't make profit ever in their history of existing. But that's where Sony is now, and this is the reality of the situation. And they're going to put themselves in a lot deeper hole if they try to get quick wins rather than just. You can make a lot of money from this game. Just let it happen.
Yeah. And they're like, no, I don't think we want to make money, Casino. Origato.
I mean, people on Reddit are talking about getting chargebacks. Guys, don't do that. You will get banned from Steam. You will lose your Steam account over a $30 chargeback, $40 chargeback. Do not do it. But that is how much people are against this decision.
Yeah, this is friendly advice from Casino. Yeah. Not worth it, man. Okay, cool. So anything else you want to close up about this? Because I think we covered most of it, and we'll see how this unravels, of course.
Sony, be better. That's it.
Yeah, the CEO of Sony looks in the mirror and says, "Be better." Yeah, so.
And then he goes to the shareholders meetings and says, "We'll be better."
We'll be better.
And here we are.
So, all right. Thanks everyone for watching. Yeah. So don't worry, we'll be covering a lot more video game topics and stuff like that because this stuff is it's juicy and stuff like that. So if any recommendations, yeah, leave us like a comment below on like what you want to see and stuff like that. I mean, maybe there's some other topic going on right now that we have no idea about. I mean, we would definitely love to react.
Let us know.
Yes, please. So anyway, just hit us up if you want to say anything. And thank you everyone for watching again, and we will see you in the next one. Bye bye.
See you guys.